So, I've been stepping into the night vision game a little bit now. I finally got some PDS 7s, Charlie's Gen 3, really nice. But I've also been setting up one of my rifles to be kind of a night vision gun, field rifle, just balance out a lot. So this is it. This is a URGI style. It actually has more Geisley parts on it than anything else. It's got the Geisley Mark 14 rail. It's got the Geisley buffer tube system with their 42 spring and buffer. It's got the Geisley super dynamic 3-gun combat trigger. The barrel, bulk carrier group, and receiver is a PSA Freedom line. I had an upper laying around, so I stripped it down, put the rail on there, and kind of did it up a little bit. It's got, which is funny, those are Ruger marked sights. They're actually built by Troy for the Ruger 5.56. Right on X5 1-8 in a worn mount with an actual, back in the day, EOTechs were really, absolute coat witness. So they actually made mounts, which is this little bitty mount right here, to bring them up a little bit. So instead of absolute, it'd be almost like a 193 almost. And they also used them on PEC 15s. I found it at a surplus store somewhere. Inside dual button setup. So front is light. The light I'm running is a Surefire Scout with an IR filter there, so I can run it day or night. And then the back runs the laser, which is the HoloSun 117. It's just the laser, just the infrared laser, nothing else. JMac hand stop, JMac lower, actually, you kind of see it there. And on the front, it is the JMac blast can, blast diffuser. Basically, it's a blast shield that pushes out all the concussion forward. Sitting underneath of it is the JMac 360 HD. Solid muzzle device. Here, I'll show you. Also, old school PRI gas buster, because I am still waiting on my suppressor to come through, and it is a Yankee Hill R2. So hopefully in the next couple months, hopefully. But I want to, so this is without the blast shield on. You can kind of see the muzzle blast on it. Really just concussive and just all over the place. Well, the blast is all over the place, but it doesn't move. It's a really soft shooting rifle. It's a mid-length system with that buffer weight in there. It doesn't move. But when we put this blast shield on, has a nice little trick. Let's finish that off. Boop. Now, so all that concussion goes forward. There's a little bit more felt recoil, not much. It's very noticeable. But like I said, this thing is extremely flat shooting regardless, because of that mid-length gas system and the buffer system in there. So, and it goes, you can go really fast with it. And it's actually very easy to do some stuff like that. I love this rifle. Like I said, you can see the target's still set up. We're just out here messing around mainly. Be gone for about a week or so, so I figured I'd get some videos in and post them while I'm out there doing my thing. But like I said, this is that rifle. Love it. Absolutely love this thing is stupid fun to shoot. But like I said, this right here, off, it really becomes a different animal. Like with the blast shield on, it's soft shooting. There. It's soft shooting, but with that blast shield off, this 360 HD, you can see the ports on there. There are only 3 ports on 3 sides. On the other rifle that you'll see in another video, the ports are all over the place. This one is their heavy duty. It's meant more for machine gun, for heavy rates of fire. It's thicker. It's going to hold up more. I figured this one's going to be longer in longevity. Yeah. So it's never going to break on you. It's going to be one and done muzzle device. So let's just do some double taps, and you can see the target over there. So good. So it's stupid easy to run this thing pretty quickly. Like I said, it is a PSA barrel. It's about a 1-inch gun. I'd say probably a little bit over. I'd probably put this thing at like a 1.5-inch gun to 2 inches at 100 yards, which is, oh God, not sub MOA. That's not what this rifle's meant for. It's meant for field use. It's meant for, I've taken this rifle like it is, except for I didn't have the high rise setup on it, out to 500 pretty easily. Now I was using same stuff I'm using now, which is just PMC X-Tac, which you can kind of see in this one, which I've only got 1 round in it. So, but I've taken this rifle easy out to 500s with no issues at all. The optic really does well with it because it's got the graduated lines. So once you get it zeroed properly, you can basically just walk it out. With a good spotter, I was able to take, not this rifle here, but my 20-inch with a, had the LPVO on it at the time, out to 700. So these like PSA rifles can go out there pretty decently. Their longevities, you know, going to be seen later, but right now I'm really enjoying this rifle. It's a smooth shooter. It does really well. It was a little overgassed. That's why I put the 42 spring and the buffer in there, and it is money now. So let's try this again. We're gonna have to do a reload on it. So this thing is super nice. Okay, let's try that again so you can kind of see that reload. The one thing I wish J-Mac had done is, it's a standard mil-spec style lower, is beveled out the mag well a little bit. Some companies out there do it from the factory. They have these like big mag wells, which I'm finding out, since this is going to be my night vision gun, the mag well is not bad, but being a little bit more, so I'm probably going to get one of the polymer mag wells to kind of bolt onto it. Has a little bit better of a funnel, just because of night vision. I'll have a little bit easier basically taking my finger here, finding the finger, boop, getting it in. It's not that big of a deal, but every little bit helps. So let's try this again. We're gonna do the same thing. So one thing with the LPVO being an LPVO, I found out, so in this rifle's reticle, you got your center dot. Right underneath of it, you got a T mark, simple T mark. So for me, I actually use that T mark to actually aim at closer distances. So like if I'm shooting a 2-gun where I'm having to go really fast, I'm not focusing on the dot, I'm actually focusing on the T. Then when you start getting out to 25 yards, 100 yards, that's where the dot comes back in. But because of how much higher this one is now, it's actually back to the dot. So normally with it so low, it would actually be having to aim high. Now I'm actually aiming perfect out to, I think 100 yards is where it starts being a little bit different. So we're gonna try a little reload again, and let's go head targets this time. I say that, and everything's low. Kind of tells you, like, if you do something once, you actually think it's going to work right, and then the next time you come out, it's not working right. The good thing is this Geisley rail, like, I've only shot 1.5 mags, and it's not super hot, but how the scallops are on this rail, it really allows a lot of that heat to dissipate very easily. I'll probably get some Slate Black Industry rail covers for this, just to help mitigate some of that heat, because where my hand sets, the gas block's right there, so I'm actually pretty close to the gas block. But that's how I like to run this gun. So let's try that again, and go. There we go. Like I said, use the T. So like I said, like see if you can kind of see it in there. Probably not. But there is a T zone, and if I use that at the closer distances, like 5 yards, like I'm at now, I'll actually get into the head box of the A zone. If I don't, if I use the dot, I'll actually hit the neck of the target. So, but let's shoot a little bit. Let's get about right here, and I got a little fast on that one. But it just didn't pick up that round. Let's try that again. That like I said, it is running really good now. It's just if there's a little bit of underpowered ammo, it really kind of hiccups a little bit every once in a while. Let's try that again. Let's try to go faster. I said this thing is smoking fast. God, this thing is fun. So yeah, that's it. You see a little bit of smoke right there. It's she's a little warm, but like I said, this will become one of my favorite rifles. It's surprisingly flat. Most of these guns, you see I got a lot of competitions now. Most of the guys running, like especially ARs that are not running like competition setups, they're running URGI style rifles. That Geisley Mark rail with some type of LPVO, the lights up there, good compensator or muzzle brake, and there's a reason why these things rule.